Well, hello, my soul friends. It's Victoria. Something on my heart and soul to talk to you about because I know if I'm going through it and growing through it, someone out there is as well. And that is a big part of the intention of the Soul Nurture channel to connect our hearts and souls and be reminded we're not alone with what we're facing, what we're going through, what we're growing through, and to offer some soul nurturing along the way. So, welcome to the Soul Nurture channel. I have a vision for expanding this channel a bit more, and I'm slowly unfolding that with offering interviews with people that inspire me, that I learn from and grow with, and I'm open to topics that you'd like me to cover. But basically, this channel is all about reclaiming our soul purpose or potential, but purpose too, reconnecting to the divine essence placed within us for our human experience, to learn to tune in, which is my topic today, tune in to that divine guidance and soul wisdom, and to really reparent ourselves, to receive what we needed when we were younger that we didn't get, that we need to continue to grow that soul potential and to rise with all the possibilities that God has given us. So that's the intention here. I'm a transformational hypnotherapist, a spiritual director, many different modalities to cover here, but mostly all the modalities are transformational tools to fulfill what I just said. Okay, so welcome. If it's your first time, I'm honored that you stopped by. I hope you stick around for a little bit to see if we vibe, to see if there's something in my words and what I'm communicating that speaks to you right where you are. And really that is the intention. I mean, I've been blessed by that myself, where I'm on, going through a YouTube channel or maybe an Instagram post, and it's exactly what I needed in that moment, to take a deep breath and say, I got this. It's going to be okay. And by the way, that old cliche, we're all in this together. When you're on Instagram, I'm not on Facebook anymore. Long story, but I'm leaving, and I'm still on Instagram for the time being at I Am the Soul Nurturer, kind of there spotty. But I probably, now that I'm pulling out of Facebook, put a little bit more focus there. But really, my soul is calling me to YouTube. It's easier for me to talk. I communicate better verbally than written or imagery. I don't know. It's just what feels where I'm called. So I'm called here, and maybe you're called to my channel. So today I wanted to talk about the topic on my heart. Today is something I just exactly went through that again. Oh, what I was going to say is, when you see posts on Instagram, it reminds you you're not alone. And I always say, if you think you're the only one struggling, go look at the top self-help books out there. And the amount of people that are buying these books, right, tells you you're not the only one. Every single person I know is hitting an edge of personal development and growth and expansion and evolving. And especially this year in 2023, the year to break free. We're going to be breaking free of all those limitations, of all the conditioning, all the ways we've been stuck and diminished. We're rising up together strong this year. Okay, you with me? All right. So comment anytime you hear me say, and I do mean anytime. Like if I say something and you've already commented and said, hi, I'm watching from wherever you're watching from, which by the way, I love. And if I say something else, comment again. You're not limited here. Feel free to comment as much as you want and like and subscribe if you haven't. Okay. So here, I just feel so open and free in this moment because I finally arrived at a decision that I had been delaying, not wanting to look at, or denying. Anyone? I was stuck with a choice I made at a time I thought, this is the right time, I'm going to do this. And once I made that choice, I wasn't going to look at anything else. And that can be a good thing. That can be like stay the course with your vision and stay determined, because there's a lot of things that can happen when you make a decision to do something. The first thing that happens is a lot of obstacles show up to sort of check you. Do you really want this? And it can be confusing whether you're meant to stay the course or let go. okay? And it's a tricky one, right? I'm sure anyone out there struggling with that question, should I stay or should I go now? Does anyone know that lyric? And if you do, you're probably in my age range. By the way, I came up with this the other day, and like I said to my husband, I'm not that I don't mind people knowing the age I am. I just don't want people to put me in a box. And I think when we put ourselves in a box by identifying with an age, our subconscious mind starts reflecting or pulling up all the references to what that age is like and what we should be doing or can't do anymore and all that nonsense. So I'm saying that I'm age fluid. So when someone says, how old are you? I'm going to say I'm age fluid. Sometimes I'm in my 20s and sometimes I'm a bit older. And I like it. Anyone else? Really, truly, try that on. So I'm going off on a tangent as I do. So I'm coming back. So it can be tricky, isn't it? Where, how do I know if I'm supposed to stay the course, continue here, or let go and move on? And this could be, in a relationship, in a job, in a something you've taken on as a commitment. So how do we arrive at clear knowing? And I'll tell you, if you're feeling stuck and you're feeling like, well, let me ask you this. If you're feeling stuck, are you not listening? And by listening, I mean to your own soul, to your own guidance. We're so very conditioned to seek outside approval and validation. We're so conditioned to have an external authority. What's best for me? What do you think I should do? I mean, how many times do you call all your friends and ask, or you call a psychic or intuitive somebody to ask what they think you should do? The way that I work with my clients is I empower their own wisdom. I may reflect something and say, tell me how this feels for you, but ultimately they are the expert. We are the experts of us, our bodies, our souls. So how do we become our own authority? Well, it begins with listening. If you're stuck, I suspect you're not listening to something your soul's already tried to get your attention about. If you feel, and when we're stuck, think of it like a log jam. I was actually thinking about this on my bike ride this morning for another reason, but I was seeing an image of a river flowing and then log jams, which I often get. And I talk about it a lot because it's connected to when we have a log jam, we have grief or unfinished issues. What I was seeing on my bike ride was a log jam at the mouth of the river, or wherever the streams that meet at the river at the way up in the mountain. A log jam there, which what I was feeling into was, that's a really early trauma. And if we have early trauma, we can be blocked. And if we have early trauma, we may be stuck in not knowing how to feel into our own wisdom, because we get to our own wisdom by having some positive reflection from our caregivers and our loved ones. And if we could trust them, we could trust ourselves. This is such a deep subject, so I'm going to just stay with what I wrote. It's so deep, and I may explore this more. But what I wanted to say, if you're feeling stuck, it could be a few reasons, and I'll identify a couple. One is, if you're really consciously, remember we're operating out of our conscious awareness 5% of the time, but if you're consciously, you've made a choice, you've made a decision, and you've set a goal, and you feel stuck, it may be that your subconscious mind just doesn't have enough information or references to help you do the thing you want to do. That's possible. And that's why someone like me comes in handy. But there's another kind of block. It's a block rather than stuck. And they feel similar. When your energy is blocked, when you have a lack of energy, lack of motivation, when you feel like, you just keep pushing that, the boulder up the mountain. Who was that? Sisyphus? I can't remember the myth, but just same thing every day, just pushing it up, and it's just hard, and you're tired, and you're not motivated. And this feels, the distinction I'm going to make is that's a block. you're blocked, right? And blocks aren't necessarily bad things. It means, number one, you're not taking the time to really listen to your soul and really honor what you know. If you listen, like, yeah, I know I shouldn't be doing this, or this isn't right for me, or it's not working for me, it's not feeling good in my body, which, by the way, my soul friends, should be enough information. If your body feels like this isn't working for me, or you notice, this has been happening with me a lot as I finally gave myself permission to set boundaries, which I never used to. I used to just always be wide open to everyone. But now I'm listening to my body, and if my body feels like energetically shutting down, I pay attention. That's a block. Like my body's trying to protect me from something. To listen to higher wisdom, guidance from that, okay? So a block is where your psyche, your body, mind, soul system is trying to support you. And it may feel like a sabotage, but if you look closer and pay attention to the signs, what's happening here, you may realize that you're actually being protected and guided, not blocked. Okay, so as I said, this happened to me. It's been happening to me. I wasn't paying attention to something that wasn't working for me. I kept talking myself into it. And then I started noticing these unconscious blocks of like writing the wrong time down when I'm supposed to meet someone, or just no motivation, no enthusiasm, no inspiration towards the commitment, and my body was just feeling blah, okay, there's a lot of information in that had I listened right away. But like some of you out there who are recovering people pleasers and are still not completely connected to your own soul and heart and your own wisdom, trusting your own guidance, or you stopped listening because you didn't want that to be the answer, and you're like, now what? Now what do I do? Now that I have wisdom, then you freeze in fear because you don't know how to get past the block, right? Again, reach for someone like me to help you navigate through those transition points. So listening, it's very important. And so, like this happened with my situation last week. I pulled some tarot cards, and every single one of them was a clear, don't continue, stop, and all. And I was like, no. I talked myself into it. And then other signs kept coming. And signs, I think this is the way God is supporting us. Signs are showing up all the time if we pay attention. Different than symbols. Symbols are more coming from our unconscious, our soul wisdom. Signs are like external things that happen. Then you go, okay, like I wrote a wrong time in my calendar, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. Pay attention. Signs are like little pause moments. Pay attention. There's something more going on here that you need to pay attention to, okay? So for me, this, I paused. I really took the time to gather all the things that I had denied and looked at before. And I did another divination tool, which I'm going to talk about in just a moment, divination tools. And I had learned this in NLP training a while ago from Matt James, wonderful NLP teacher. And I remember at the time he was sharing the pendulum. Remember, I grew up Catholic. I grew up afraid of anything other than what I was taught in my church. And so I had a real pushback, like a pendulum. And then later I learned body testing, muscle testing, which I could teach you this one too. Usually, you get muscle tested by someone else, but there's ways to do it yourself, which I prefer. I don't trust now somebody else telling me what their body wisdom is, if it's right for my body wisdom. So you can muscle test yourself. But anyway, pendulum is like that. It's just information from your body, your physiological response, innermost reaction. Or you can say, if you're on a spiritual path, you can interpret that as soul wisdom. So got the pendulum out really clear, pulled 3 more cards really clear. And then I just went, you know what? I'm going to listen. And I made a choice. And the minute I made that choice, my whole body relaxed. Just all the spaciousness came because the block had been released, right? So when you're blocked, this is the tricky part. When you don't listen to your own soul wisdom or you deny it, you're going to end up getting more blocked. It's like, why would Creator? So what I believe is Creator, the divine, is always talking to us. Our soul is the expression of the divine in our human bodies. And when we connect to God, which is connected to our soul, that's a whole nother topic. Oh my goodness, the distinction between soul and spirit and all of that. Anyway, when you stop listening, when you're not meditating and you're not receiving and listening, you can get even more blocked, more tired, more fatigued, more disconnected from your own wisdom, more reliant on other people, more reliant on the external, more addicted to Facebook or Instagram. What's everybody else doing? Don't follow the trends, follow your wisdom. I'm going to say that again. Don't follow the trends, follow your soul wisdom. Okay, now how do we do that? Well, there's simple ways to do that. First and foremost is being present to yourself, taking time to be present to yourself, to take a pause, to journal, to simply put your hand over your heart and say, what does my soul want me to know regarding this? And keep asking the question. Although I'll tell you this, I had a teacher that used to say often, if you have a question, you already know the answer, right? Why else would you be asking the question? Is this right for me? The question is revealing an answer, and your soul is revealing that there's an answer to be found, and your soul has that answer. And we go looking for it in other people, and sometimes they can reflect it. And when somebody reflects your truth, you feel it. You have a resonance with that, and that's good. But I'm inviting you to connect to yourself and your own wisdom. Okay, so because again, we're so conditioned to those outer authorities, and that blocks our soul guidance. And a spiritual practice requires us to turn away from the noise of the world and to turn within and to tune in, right? Okay, so here's some divination tools that for me that I use. So again, I mentioned this, pray, but pray with a request. Show me the way, show me what I need to know about this. Pray, and then sit in silence, sit in meditation with your hands open, palms open in a receptive way, and sit and listen or feel, staying with the question, what do I need to know? I'm ready to be shown, or I'm ready to see or feel or hear what is right for me. So also along these lines is doing a flip open of a sacred book, like your Bible, or any sacred book, any book you call sacred. And maybe it's a poetry book, and you just take your favorite poetry book out and you flip it open. You ask the question again, show me what I need to know, reveal my truth, reveal my guidance, flip open and read it. And if it doesn't make sense initially, then read it again or write it in your journal and see what comes out when you do that. Okay. Dream work. Very, very, very helpful. Paying attention to your nightly dreams, where so much of our guidance and wisdom comes through. And you can incubate a dream. Show me what I need to know, or should I do this or should I not? Give me some guidance, please. And then commit to catching the dream by putting your journal next to your bed. Or for me, I write the notes in my phone, and then I transfer them to an email and have a file on my computer. But just it's like saying, okay, God, I will listen. Not only will I listen, I'll pay attention by writing it down. And then there's the discerning the dream, which is a whole nother thing that I can help you with. But again, I would be helping you discern your own dream, because you and only you know your own associations and the messages for you. Dream workers only help you get to that clarity. They don't tell you what the dream means, because that would be projecting their opinion of what you should do. And again, that's relying on an authority rather than your own inner authority. Okay, dream work. And I know this is taboo for some people, and I'd like to hear your thoughts about it, because it was taboo for me for a long time. Again, growing up Catholic, having a Christian path, and studying, becoming a Jungian based spiritual director, Jung was a way outside the box Christian too, just like me. And so I learned more in depth about the tarot and how to utilize that as a divination tool and guidance and as archetypal expressions of the human experience that help us get a sense of where we are and what's before us. Okay, so tarot reading from someone, or get your own cards, or the other thing to do is get your own images. So if you're afraid of the images on the tarot for whatever reason, cut out some images in magazines and just randomly pull an image and be curious about that image. What is this image representing? What is it showing? What comes to mind? What is it revealing to me? And of course, there's soul collaging and a number of ways to work with images. And the very simple one, again, put your hand over your heart, close your eyes, allow an image to form that has my answer to this question. Allow an image to form, and then sit with the image. If you don't get an immediate, I know what that means, maybe it's as simple as you close your eyes and should I continue to do this? And a big stop sign appears in your mind's eye. That's pretty clear. And sometimes they come that way and sometimes they don't. So we continue with the image we get, or you can request, make it so clear that I absolutely know. Okay. And then I touched on the pendulum, this is a way like muscle testing that you just have a little something on, this is like a pendulum, anything that's on a string that you can get a yes or no. And again, don't be afraid, because this is your body's wisdom. It's another way of your body giving you the wisdom. And if that feels uncomfortable for you, then muscle testing. I'll show you a quick self-check muscle testing. So you clasp your pointer and your thumb together, and you hold really tight. So in muscle testing, if I were muscle testing someone, I'd say, hold, make it strong, and hold. And then you test it, and then you say, okay, body, give me a yes. Body, give me a yes. And then you try to push through, and a yes for me is very strong. I can't break through, right? I just pushed through, but I couldn't break through. Now I say, okay, body, give me a no. Body, give me a no. And I easily slide through. And I'm telling you, I am actually trying to not do that. That's my body giving me a no. Now I practice this a lot, so I know my yes, I know my no. So that's another really good tool. I'm just going to throw these out here really quick. And then there's stream of consciousness journaling, which is opening your journal, or if just a sheet of paper. If you don't want to keep it, you want to shred it after and get rid of it. If you don't want anyone to know you're tracking your own discernment and it's private. And then write your question. What do I need to know about this? And then close your eyes, take a breath. Maybe you say something like, it's safe for me to know. I'm ready to know. I'm willing to know. And then just start writing. Start writing across the paper and see what arrives. That is your wisdom. That is your guidance. And then be open for signs. Give me a sign. That's always a good one. So those are some of the ways that I would invite you to connect to your own wisdom. And the other way you know that you're on track with your own wisdom is it feels good. When you arrive at a knowing, remember I told you I'm the Dr. Seuss of transformational work. When you come to your knowing, you get to your flowing. So if you're not flowing in regard to the situation you're in, and by flowing, I mean you feel like you are expansive in yourself, you feel like yourself, that's another measuring place for me, or discernment place for me, is if I'm in a situation and I don't feel like I can be myself continually, that's a no. You want to be engaged in places with people and situations that allows your soul to expand, your beautiful, unique essence to be seen and welcomed and valued. And that's also when you feel like you're aligned. And now I want to say that sometimes we're in situations where we got a clear, yes, I'm supposed to be this and be in this situation, be in this job, be in this relationship. we will hit some rough patches, and that is not the time to quit. It's a time to seek discernment. It's a time to connect more deeply and to, these practices I shared with you, to pray, to release it, to surrender it, and ask for a clear, very clear knowing. And I promise you, you'll feel it, you'll know it, and then the next step is to create a vision for the action plan beyond where you are so you can flow forward. Okay, I hope this helped you. Let me know if anything really struck a chord with you. If you're feeling stuck or blocked, you're not alone. And also sometimes there's just a hard stop, to pause. It's like a forced stop. Maybe our body needs to rest. Maybe we don't have enough information about what we want to do, or maybe we haven't learned the lesson to move forward. So reach out for support if you need it. Be happy to support you on your journey of unfolding. You can go to my website at www.victoriajazwick.com and request a consultation and or a session. And another way that I help people feel unblocked and connect to their own wisdom. This is where I get so excited. I talk so fast and I skip words and I just, slow down. Anyway, we'd look at your soul chart, your astrology chart, which is, for me, Creator's roadmap for us, our blueprint, our way of remembering and reclaiming who we are. Okay, so thanks for being with me. I'm really always so very honored when anybody stops by to spend some time with me, and I hope I fulfilled my mission today in supporting at least one of you out there, maybe more. So thanks for being with me, and I will see you next time. Take good care and nurture that beautiful soul potential of yours. We all need it. It's needed on the planet. Take good care until next time. Thanks.